Is it illegal to check somebody's background? Well, here's the thing. The EEOC, using Title VIII, is actually now suing companies who are not hiring convicted felons. This is Dave at AFX Search Licensed Investigators in Palm Beach, Florida, looking at some recent developments in the business community where companies are prevented from doing background checks prior to bringing a person into their organization as an employee or a contractor. And the EEOC is pushing this really hard. There's a case where a company provides private security and security guards for a nuclear power plant. And part of that power plant contract is that the state requires that they do background checks. They make sure that the security guards guarding a nuclear power plant don't have prior criminal records. Well, that state law, they've been told, is superseded and preempted by federal law, saying that everybody has to have equal opportunity and that background checks artificially impact minorities and other disadvantaged groups more so than non-minorities. So you can't run background checks. Well, the company said, well, by state law, we have to run background checks. EEOC said, doesn't matter. You can't do it. Federal law supersedes that. The same thing happened to a company, happened to be in Georgia, who had the need to provide their employees to go into people's homes and to provide estimates, and they were not allowed to run background checks on people prior to hiring them. They had to give a good reason why they couldn't do that. That brings up a really good point. If you're a company, you could have civil liability for any crimes, damage, or injury that an employee incurs on maybe a customer, a client, or even the general public if you hire them. Even if you have a record of checking backgrounds before you make an offer, they can look up those records. Is there communications from your HR department with an investigator or with a background checking company to look up background checks? If you've done that and there's some problem or somebody files a lawsuit for hiring practices, they can look to see if you've done that. Even if you didn't do it with that person, it could create liability. So be sure to look at that, get some good legal advice from an attorney. Make sure that when you're hiring an investigator that they know the laws about doing background checks and that you're disclosing to them that it's for employment so that they are aware of what they can and cannot search. And if you're an investigator, be sure to understand these laws and talk to your clients about what background checks, especially criminal background checks, are being used for, and that they're not running afoul of the federal equal employment opportunity rules and procedures about what background checks can be used for.